I don't just watch the news, you become part of it. We are now in the sentencing phase for Carlos Holcomb and his trial. The jury did not buy the defense as he stood accused of kidnapping a 12-year-old girl at gunpoint and then raping her. Plus,
we could have had 3 deaths in these 3 incidents. So the victims are very lucky that they're still alive.
Our New Mexico mobile newsroom crew on the scene as one of the 3 stabbing victims flown to El Paso last week, and officers dealt with frantic witnesses as our video shows. Tonight, police say one person may have randomly attacked all 3 of them at different locations. Also tonight, a dozen animals rescued from their own filth in East El Paso. They are now being processed. Our video shows animal control or services on the scene dealing with the situation. Plus, we'll have images showing the conditions they were found in. Iris?
Well, it is sure starting to feel like monsoon season. We are still tracking some activity on Doppler radar. We'll take another look coming up.
It's all next on ABC-7 at 9. It starts right now.
Live, where news comes first. From the Mesilla Valley and Las Cruces to El Paso and the borderland. This is ABC-7 at 9 on the El Paso Las Cruces CW.
How's it going, everybody? This is ABC-7 at 9 on the CW. Let's get right to storm tracker Iris Lopez for a sneak peek at her forecast. A little bit cooler today, but still you feel the summer mug. The muggy nights in the air.
Yes, if you're going to be heading outside, it is going to be a muggy one. I just walked outside. It is pretty cool, cooler than what we have seen the past few days. But let's talk about Doppler radar because we are tracking a lot of activity. There is still a flash flood watch in effect for Alamogordo, Deming, Silver City, TRC, and Hatch. But we're going to take a closer look at Doppler radar and see where some of those storms are heading and if it's affecting here in El Paso or Las Cruces. All that coming at Bob.
All right, thanks so much for that, Iris. We do appreciate that. ABC-7 with a traffic alert tonight, 2 of them. I-10 is about to shut down on 2 ends of the city. First up, this is East El Paso, where TxDOT crews are about to block off all lanes of I-10 East from Loma Land all the way out to Zaragoza. This is a scheduled maintenance, but you'd better get used to this closure. I'll tell you why in a second. Also the same over on the west side of El Paso, where both sides of I-10 are closing from Sunland Park to Executive. Again, scheduled to start at 9 o'clock tonight on both ends of the city. You see some flashing lights there on the left of your screen, presumably TxDOT crews getting everybody off the freeway. ABC-7's Mauricio Casillas gets us all caught up to speed on this week's I-10 closures.
Well, we didn't have to deal with the headache of closures going on this weekend, but they do continue throughout your work week. I-10 East closed from Sunland Park over to Executive completely 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. As that's going on, I-10 West closed from the Sunland Park exit to the overpass as well. Now, this one only going on for tonight. So from Asarco over to Executive, that right lane will be closed, and the Executive exit will be closed as well. So if you're heading on I-10 West, you can either get off on Schuster or later on Sunland Park. And also a closure going on in East El Paso from Loma Land over to Zaragoza. I-10 East completely closed Monday through Thursday from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. Also want to let you guys know about our new Twitter account at KVIA Traffic. You can follow us for updates, closures, accidents, anything like that. And you can also track your traffic online, KVIA.com/traffic-track. Mauricio Casillas, ABC-7.
Thanks so much for that. We appreciate that, Mauricio. Again, another live look at I-10 on the west side again. We do want to reiterate, tonight it's both east and westbound lanes. So keep in mind, that's what you're up against tonight. As TxDOT crews get ready to close that down, you'll have to take Mesa, as Mauricio said, and we will definitely keep you updated on that. Our traffic track system is also something we use to keep you updated. Again, it's easy. All you have to do is go to our ABC-7 StormTRACK Weather app, and this is about what you will see there. Very similar. You can see no major problems yet, but that is because TxDOT is still in the process of closing down the freeways, both over at I-10 and Zaragoza, between Zaragoza and Loma Land, and on the west side by Sunland Park. It's going to be a mess out there, folks, but we will keep you updated as best we can. So, in the meantime, let's get to a story that has a lot of you talking tonight. Reports of a foul smell leading to a hoarding investigation and 15 animals being rescued from a home out in East El Paso. Now, the address is a familiar one for animal services. 3 years ago, more than 50 animals were rescued from that same house. We have ABC-7's Stephanie Guadian live tonight in our newsroom with the details. Hey, Steph.
Hey there, Bob. Arlene Brown was the woman cited during the first hoarding investigation. Investigators say this time she's facing 44 violations and a possible cruelty charge.
And you can hear them at night barking in the morning barking.
Richard Madrigal is describing his neighbor's alleged animal hoarding, while our camera was not allowed inside the house where 15 dogs were found living in deplorable conditions. Animal Services did share these photos with us. Take a look. There is so much matted fur on this dog, it's hard to even see his eyes.
It was an anonymous complaint, and the concern of the strong odor. As you could see, you could smell it from across the street.
Workers wearing protective suits and masks entered the home at 2704 Fierro and found the animals.
Living on their own feces, matted, underweight.
Back in 2013, the same woman living in the home was discovered to be living with 54 dogs and a cat. It was not the number of pets that got her into trouble, rather the conditions in which the animals were living.
There's no limit. As long as you could take care of them, as long as you're in compliance with city ordinance, state laws, for example, vaccination, registration, microchip, food, water, and shelter.
The 54 animals picked up last time were taken to Animal Services. Many were transferred to rescue partners. Animal Services wasting no time to take care of the latest animals taken from the home. Just take a look at these before and after photos. Arlene Brown's neighbor, who we talked to today, wonders why the city allows people to keep an unlimited number of animals. Again, this is an ongoing investigation, and it's not known yet if the animals will be adopted out or returned to their owner. I can tell you the city officials say she is going to be placed on an adoption watch list. Bob, back to you.
You know, Stephanie, I heard you talking about that in the newsroom earlier tonight, and it's good to know that there is a watch list like that. You hear of a terrorist watch list, but you never hear of an adoption watch list. Quite interesting.
City has one.
All right. Stephanie, thank you so much for the latest on that. Another trial is also underway for a young man accused of killing his 15-year-old girlfriend. Adrian Garcia is on trial for the 2013 death of Alejandra Arango. The 15-year-old girl's mother found her in a bathtub inside their San Elizario home. An autopsy found she was strangled. On the stand today in court, we heard from a crime scene investigator with the El Paso Sheriff's Office. She told jurors how she dusted for fingerprints in the bathroom and also talked about the fingernail polish she found on the victim's bedroom walls. Defense attorney Justin Underwood asked her why certain objects like an empty rubbing alcohol bottle and an aerosol can in the bathroom and bedroom were not tested. Underwood mentioned that all the items can be used in huffing, adding the victim had no nail polish on her nails. Underwood then told the jurors that Garcia's fingerprints had not been found in the bathroom or anywhere else in the home. ABC-7 will be in the courtroom when the trial resumes tomorrow morning. Meantime, the sentencing phase begins tomorrow as well for a former Fort Bliss soldier just found guilty of kidnapping and raping a 12-year-old girl. Late this afternoon, a jury convicted 45-year-old Carlos Holcomb on 5 charges. Now, Holcomb faces up to 99 years in prison just for the aggravated kidnapping, plus an additional 5 to 99 years for each of the 3 aggravated sexual assault convictions and 2 to 20 years for indecency with a child. Holcomb sat next to his attorney during a powerful closing argument from the prosecution, talking about key moments during the victim's testimony. That was back on Wednesday when the girl detailed how back in 2014, when she was 12, Holcomb kidnapped her at Horizon High School, then took her to his home and raped her. 3 victims, 3 different attacks. Tonight, Las Cruces police say there may be just one suspect who randomly stabbed all of them. From our New Mexico Mobile Newsroom crew today, Las Cruces police saying all 3 victims were attacked within walking distance of one another. Tonight, a 20-year-old man is in jail accused of at least one of the stabbings. Now, Marco Galvan is charged with attempted murder. ABC-7 was on the scene of a second stabbing here that you see, and that is where we saw the victim placed into a helicopter and flown to University Medical Center with multiple stab wounds. ABC-7 video from the scene also shows police were wearing blue rubber gloves as they investigated, and you also see several emotional witnesses speaking with the investigators. And then the night before that, last Wednesday, Las Cruces police say a 17-year-old was attacked in the south central part of the city as he was walking down the street. Police saying they suspect it was Galvan who ran up to the teen, stabbed him for no reason on that street that you're looking at, and then ran away. The victim, by the way, is expected to recover. Beginning today, people are now allowed to carry their concealed handguns into public universities across Texas, including UTEP. Now, this law allows guns in buildings, classrooms, and dorms as long as the weapons are concealed. There are certain places where guns will not be allowed, though, but that may differ from campus to campus. Each school is required to set their own gun-free zones where it's reasonable. A UTEP official says he does not anticipate the atmosphere on campus changing much.
We expect people to still come to classes and go to their offices, walk across campus, and it's going to be pretty much the same environment that we've always had.
Signs, by the way, will be posted on areas where guns will not be allowed, like the daycare, health centers, and science labs, and even sporting events. We do have a link of all of the restricted places right now at KVIA.com. Have you heard this one? Those alarming numbers out of New Mexico tonight. The state ranking dead last in the percentage of students who graduate high school. Now, in 2013, the U.S. Department of Education reported the national average of high school grads was 81%. ABC-7's Jamie Warren today went looking for specific numbers, and she found in 2015, New Mexico saw just under a 69% graduation rate. Jamie also learned today that the problem is much worse up in the Albuquerque area, where the public schools in that city had a 61.7% graduation rate. That is shocking. But Las Cruces was a lot closer to the national average, way up from Albuquerque at 76.6%. And then the Gadsden School District, which is right in our area, just to the west of El Paso, Gadsden High School, Santa Teresa, 81% of its seniors graduated in the year 2015. All right, StormTRACK Weather right now. We do have Iris Lopez with a look at our first forecast. How you doing, Iris?
I'm doing good, Bob. A good evening to all of you. If you wanted that rain, well, you sure did get it, or at least some parts of the city. And Las Cruces saw most of that rain. They actually still are seeing some rain, some activity on Doppler radar. Let's take a look at Doppler radar right now so we can see exactly what's happening. If we take a closer look into here in El Paso, you can see we're getting some very light rain portions of Sunland Park, Santa Teresa, Canutillo as well. If we take a closer look, North Wrestler Drive over near Coronado Hills, Sunland Park, over in those areas, we're getting more of that light to moderate rain. Vado, Mesquite, Anthony, and Vinton as well. But if we take a look over near Deming, Deming is where they're getting most of that rain, heavier rain on that side. Now we are going to talk more about rain and those temperatures. We have meteorologist Stephen Decatur standing by. You have some stats to talk to us about.
Yeah, you know, August is starting off a lot different than what we saw during the month of July. July was extremely hot here in the borderland. In fact, if it felt hot, it was hot. It was the second hottest month on record, 88.7 degrees. The hottest month on record was June 1994. And if you remember 1994, that was a hot year. That was our most 100-degree temperatures on record. That's also the year where we set our all-time record high. So it was hot. It was also dry. July was our 10th driest July on record. So again, hot and dry weather during the month of July. August, thankfully, starting off on a very different note. Bob, over to you.
All right. Thanks so much, Stephen. We do appreciate that. Hey, well, today was the first day of school out in Gadsden and the Socorro school districts. But thankfully, the kids did not have to walk to school or cross the crosswalk in severe weather like we saw 10 years ago. Yes, it has been 10 years since this storm devastated the borderland. Many called it the storm of the century. We called it Storm 2006. Tonight, we mark exactly 10 years from the storm that wiped places off the map, literally, including that blockbuster that you see right there. Our coverage of Storm 2006, then and now, continues here on ABC-7 at 9 and also live at KVIA.com, where we have an interactive map where you can get involved and take a virtual tour of everything we saw 10 years ago. We'll be right back.